be fair, like this is just me, and I might change my mind later depending on like what happens and how it goes down. But I really kind of right now I don't want them to be friends anymore. Like if you guys are going to have to coexist on the show, fine.
No,
but
they can never be friends again. I don't see how that can happen. No, I don't think so. Until maybe during their 50s, and she, you know.
Do you not think that Monique might have a come to Jesus moment at some point in her life when she's really gonna have to be like, okay, this was all my fault. Everything.
I don't think so. I think she would have to have done it already. The fact that she continues to make excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse, continues to justify this action in her mind, and then the new things that happen because of it, like the court, like her having to get a lawyer, like the busted lip that she had, she's still blaming that on Candace. Anything that has to do with Candace and this altercation, she will find a way to blame it on Candace. And because of that, I don't think that she can come out of this anytime soon. Do you understand what I mean? And the fact that she also has support from so many people who agree with the way she's thinking, who are supporting her, I don't think she's going to come out of it. Also, I don't think that's something that she would do to someone at this age that you call a true friend. And the fact, and the fact that she did do that, actually, I also think she's also slightly maybe very deep inside of her, somewhere in her cold heart. I'm sorry. Let me stop all this shade. Somewhere in her heart, I think she does feel a little shame about what she did. I do think that. Actually, she's also said that she does feel some shame. I also don't see, I've watched interviews. I don't think she ever says it's Candace's name.
You know what I think is wrong with Monique?
What do you think?
Maybe at first she didn't have any remorse. Maybe, sure, because she said it, so I believe you, fine. Mm-hmm. But I feel like maybe before or after the whole, like, pastor thing, and she was like, oh, she didn't deserve that, blah, blah, whatever. However real that was, fine, whatever. But what I think is wrong with her, I think now, for pride's sake, especially because of that legal action that Candace took on her, I think for pride's sake, she's doubling down on her story. Like now, she has manipulated it in her own mind to try to convince herself that everything that she did was justified. I think that's what she is just trying to save face at this point. I think that's what's wrong with her. Instead of just saying I was completely wrong and okay, fine, I get it. Now there's legal actions. You can't actually speak to her anymore. Great. But fine, talking to us in the confessionals or talking to anybody else, be that vulnerable person and admit and cop to what you've done. Take accountability. Like, actually show it. Don't just be telling people, oh, let me show you what I've done. No, show it. Show it. And don't be saying, oh, I invited you to my podcast and y'all not coming, so how y'all going to see? Your little live podcast about Not for Lazy Moms is not where you're going to show that, oh, you've changed and you've been working on yourself. Like, what is that? Like, no, that's work. We need to. These are personal relationships. We need to see it different.
Right, something that was already planned before you had the altercation. Something that you already had planned.
Right, like you know what I'm saying. Whether or not you had that, altercation with Candace had nothing to do with that podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not like, what are you going to talk about in that podcast that's going to show, oh, this is where I've changed. Especially, do you remember during the podcast itself, she told the lady not to ask her anything about Candace. And the first question the lady asked her was about Candace. I was like, yo, where do you find these people? Like, I can't even deal. Like, so how are you going to show that you're taking accountability and you're changing when you didn't even want that question to be asked? So is it that you didn't want to address it because there was nobody there to hear it? Like, I'm not really understanding, like, what she was talking about there. But whatever. I'm over Monique. I really am. Like, I really am over Monique.
Rachel, in defense of the moderator or whatever you want to call her, Monique said she's not going to answer any questions about the altercation. She didn't say Candace's name. Again, Monique refuses to say Candace's name. That's telling. That's telling. The fact that she can't even say your friend's name, that's telling. That lets me know that you know, like, you're wrong somewhere. That's telling to me. That says something to me psychologically about what's going on and what she's thinking about. But she never says Candace's name. She says I just refuse to. Don't ask me any questions about the altercation. Was what she said. That's what she said.
I don't remember the exact wording, but I'll take your word for it.
She said altercation. Like, I'm not going to answer any questions about the altercation. She didn't say Candace's name. The lady then got a question that says, "Oh, what is the
status of your relationship with Candace?"
With Candace.
And what she said, she took a long ass pause and she was like, "Pray for us." I was like,
right. That's very different from that's not about the altercation per se. So I'll give her that. I'll give her a pass on that one. That's all.
I had absolutely no problem with the moderator asking that question. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was great. I was like, ask more. Let's